T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to week 7. 2 weeks in a row now. Brian or I are in the show, so go us. How's it going, Brian?
It's going pretty well. It's about to get just snow like crazy here in Salt Lake City, but I'm prepared.
Yeah, it's unfortunately about that time of year for at least those of us north of the Mason-Dixon. So good times all around. But here we go. We have a lot of guys to talk about this week. So let's start it off with our number one guy. We love him. We talk about him literally every week. What's up with Robbie Anderson?
Oh man, what is up with Robbie Anderson? I called out on Twitter that I crunched the numbers and this was going to be Robbie Anderson week.
You did.
And if I wasn't a points per target league, Robbie Anderson would be dominating. The guy had another 9 targets this week. He had 23% target share. And of course, he turned that into 3 receptions for 14 yards. So again, he almost had as many yards as targets, which honestly is incredible. I can't believe the stat line this guy's putting up. They benched Darnold in the 4th because Darnold looks just horrific. He's back to seeing ghosts. Robbie Anderson did have a whole quarter to play with PJ Walker, and he went 0-4 on 4 targets. So real solid outing with PJ Walker. But DJ Moore did have 5. So if there's any silver lining here, if PJ Walker keeps on moving forward, we might see similar usage between Moore and Anderson going forward. This is the floor. It has to go up. It really we know it can stay here, but it has to get better.
I don't know. I mean, we literally say this every week, and every week it's like he did it again. So,
but I'll be honest, I'm starting him every week and just taking it because it's like Will Fuller 2 years ago or last year, where you're just missing, and then you're gonna get that 50-point week. I really hope that's coming, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah, my Scott Fishbowl team needs it too, so I'm with you. So next up, Brandon Bolden led the Patriots this week with 7 targets. Since week 3, he's gone 4 targets, 6, 4, 1, and then 7. Honestly, Damian Harris is the only Patriots running back that you can trust at this point. But if you are in a very deep redraft league, or if you're in a dynasty, but you're super, super hurt and really have a lot of injuries, he might be a sneaky speculative ad. I mean, he's 10% on Sleeper, 6% on Yahoo, 5%, 5.5% on ESPN. So no one really rosters him. He might be a very Walmart brand James White. If you need some receptions, he might be worth just putting on your bench and seeing if there's any steady production for him. He might be a bum, and you never know. And that's kind of how his role has been in New England. But if he's going to get 5-ish targets a week, if you're hurting for running backs, you could do a lot worse than New England offense.
Yeah, I agree. With running backs this season, it's just brutal. So
it's bad.
Not a bad stash. Next, I have the running backs for the New York Jets, Michael Carter and Ty Johnson. This last week, Carter controlled the backfield. He had 11 carries for 37 yards. Ty Johnson 5 carries for only 6 yards. They had fairly even reception numbers just because they got pummeled in this game. They were pretty much, the Jets were in pass mode the entire time. And honestly, the news that was first on the local news here in Salt Lake City was Zach Wilson being injured. I'm not joking. They love that guy this much out here in Utah. I'm not sure what effect that's going to have on the offense. So I'm not sure this is necessarily an offense you want to be a part of, but it looks like Michael Carter is finally getting that role that a lot of the fantasy analysts were hoping for this season. He's definitely getting more carries. And he did have 2 more targets and 2 more receptions than Ty Johnson. I think if you're really trying to solidify your team for running for the playoffs, Michael Carter's not a bad speculative trade for or trade candidate. Because if Ty Johnson goes down, or if the Jets just keep on using him more and more, he could be a good fill-in guy as buys start coming back up at the end of the season.
And not for nothing, it might have been prevent defense, but Smith played way better than Zach Wilson. So
there is that too. So
that's just Bill Belichick just playing the strings to create chaos within the Jets organization, because what's more fun than that? Next up, we have Terry McLaurin. So after 2 weeks of pretty blah production, 4 for 46, 4 for 28, he explodes like we love to see, 7, 122, and 1. He's been a bit roller coastery this year, up and down with pretty, 10 or under point PPR games, and then explosion for, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last week, 122 yards and a touchdown. So his production at times has been frustrating, but his usage in regards to target share has been great. His worst target share game was 20%. And then he's 26, 29, 39, 26, 32. So he's getting a ton of looks, regardless of its, Fitz or Heineke. So that's going to stay. So if you have him, just obviously you love it and keep riding it. You're not going to be able to get him even at a 5% discount. So hopefully maybe you were able to pounce on that last week with 2 bad weeks in a row. But his usage is there. So, we might see this because that's the Washington offense. But the guy's getting a ton of looks, and you can't be mad about that. Robbie Anderson, this is kind of a dig at you, because what the hell?
Tyler McLaurin is what I wish Robbie Anderson was.
He gets the work.
Bust. Next is onto a guy that I've had a love-hate relationship with the last few seasons. It's Mike Gesicki down to Miami. Jax, if you're listening, you need to go get your scuba gear, because I think he's finally alive. You throwing him off the bridge was not really that successful. This last week, he had 8 targets and had 7 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown. So he, in a bleak tight end landscape, this guy has been a great late round tight end hit. He also, I think I do the whole betting side of the undroppables, and he's been a weekly favorite for me. It seems like he's always underappreciated in this offense. His line has consistently been around 40 reception yards, and I've won so many bets off of him the last 3 to 4 weeks. And I think they're finally starting to smart up to him being a focal point of this offense. And it's a very pass-friendly Miami offense. They are the pass-heaviest in the league. I believe I saw passing on 72% of plays this season. So almost 3 out of every 4 play is a pass. And Tua's looked actually pretty good since coming back from injury. So I think Gesicki is a great guy going forward. I'd say maybe top 6 tight end play going forward. And you can play him with confidence going forward for the next few weeks.
Yeah. And lastly, in our main stage here, our main group, Calvin Ridley. So I saw, I feel like, Robbie Anderson and Terry McLaurin, Calvin Ridley, it's all the same show, but in a weird way. So he saw 25% target share and didn't really do a lot, 4 for 26 and caught a touchdown, which helps on 10 targets. But just not dominating. I mean, going into the season, how many people did we see Calvin Ridley as the wide receiver 1 for the year? And it has not turned out that way. Kyle Pitts, hand up, I was definitely someone that, you never really know about rookie tight ends, and I get, he's more than a tight end, whatever. But he really is dominating, especially with, the injuries that occurred. And I know Russell Gage just came back, but having that offense, be his for the last 2-3 weeks, in a sense, has really helped. But with Ridley, according to JJ Zacharison, he's yet to have a target share below 20%. So he's getting the looks. He just hasn't been the person that we've wanted so far based on his production. But like Terry McLaurin, I trust him way more than Robbie Anderson. You just keep kind of rolling him out there and going for it, because it's got to hit. He's way too good. And Matt Ryan isn't that bad where that's going to continue. It's not going to be a Justin Fields, Allen Robinson situation where Allen Robinson, my God.
Oh, God, yeah.
That one's bad.
What I could say about Calvin Ridley is he's showing a solid floor. where like the fact that he went 4 for 26 and a touchdown, that's a bad week for him. He's starting to like, you want that. He's like boom bust with a very safe bust. So Pitts isn't going to be able to go off all the time either, because I just I don't like the University of Florida, so I can't say anything good about their players.
Love it. Love the college hatred. And to end the show like we do are just quick rapid takes. So yeah, Sam Darnold, like Brian said, has just gone fully New York Jets mode. Seeing ghosts, getting benched for PJ Walker, like bad. Someone to keep an eye on. So kind of like I talked about for Brandon Bolden, Samaje Perine, week 5, he had 11 carries. This past week, he had 11 again. In week 5, he actually had one more and more yards than Mixon. This week, he had one less and 7 less yards. If he's getting this work and you're in a very deep league or you're really, really hurting for running backs, that's a type of level of work that you could really rely on. ESPN 7%, Yahoo 7%, Sleeper 10%. So he's out there in almost all of your leagues. So if you need someone to go target for some help, you could do worse than Perine.
Hey Dan, it sounds like they're mixing up the touches in the backfield there.
All right, how do I get you off this thing? 1 second. Where's the remove button? Guys, I try to reel them in, and this is the level of professionalism that we get. Here, CJ Uzomah. So last 2 weeks, 6 targets, 6 receptions, 106 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, you got to ride the hot hand, but I mean, that's tough to go on. But the dude's crushing it for what it is for right now. So if you have him, might not be a bad idea to ship him out and get something before that craters.
I got Rashad Bateman. He had 6 targets again this week. I told y'all he was going to boom. But I'd still really temper your expectations with him. He isn't necessarily in that elite Robbie Anderson target share area. I think he had like less than 20% this week. But that offense is efficient. He's not going to have high volume, but he's probably going to be pretty productive. I'll be interested to see if Sammy Watkins comes back to see what his role is. Then also Zach Ertz had a very strong outing in his first game with Arizona. He had 3 receptions for 66 yards and a touchdown. I'd say he's worthwhile pickup if he's still available in your league. His role is only going to increase in one of, if not the best offense in the NFL. He'll probably have bust weeks just like we saw with AJ Green. And there's always some guy in that offense that seems to be left out. But he seems to be a strong tight end candidate going forward.
Yep. And then in our last 2 here before we wrap this up, Amon-Ra St. Brown. So talking about another rookie wide receiver. So the past few weeks, 8 targets, and 7. He was getting pretty decent, work. The coaching staff talked about getting him work and keeping him there, and then did literally nothing yesterday. So that's the normal rookie wide receiver outcome that we've somehow managed. So, this is the normal way. And to end our show, Nick Chubb is healthy and should be coming back. So we're all just going to get together. And Dearness Johnson, we're going to do a prayer circle. He gets traded to the Baltimore Ravens because we all want those fantasy points. And dear God, if Le'Veon Bell and the other 2016 All-Star cast get out of here. Yeah. It's 2021. We need to move past 2016 and get a real live running back in that backfield. So Dearness Johnson, we want you there. All right, everybody. 14 minutes. Crushed it.
Yeah, look at that. Game's coming back.
Boom, boom, boom. Nail it every time. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Adios. Peace.